Hi creatives, it's KM and welcome back to my channel for my March bullet journal setup. Now this is a particularly exciting video as I'm collaborating with YouTuber Jashi Corin. Together we've picked the theme Seasonal Woodland for our monthly setup, and we're both going to interpret this in our individual styles. It's going to be super interesting as we're on opposite sides of the world and both going to be experiencing this coming season quite differently. I'll leave a link to her video below so you can see how she's interpreted the theme. For me here in England, this means I'm heading into spring, so I'm going to be drawing badgers and wildflowers. You can see here that I've drawn out in pencil my title page artwork. I'm now going in with my Windsor and Newton watercolour palette to add colour. I've chosen daffodils and bluebells for their vibrant colour, as well as the yellow and purple tones working together as their complementary colours. To create the fur texture for my badger, I'm working in layers of quick brush strokes, working from the centre of the body outwards to create a three-dimensional look. I then realised here that you can see my badger looks like it's floating in space, so I'm grounding him by adding a background of grass. To bring some more textures to my page, I've torn this bit of pattern paper and fixed it down to write my title on later. I'm then bringing more warmth to the page by adding a wash of coffee. To begin adding detail, I'm first working over my watercolour in a white chalk pen to add highlights. This is a really lovely tool to use as it's semi-transparent, so it blends in really well to the rest of the tones on the page. A full list of materials I use can be found in the description of all of my videos. I'm then working over the top in a black fine liner to sharpen all the edges of my painting, as well as to create a more illustrative look. In the centre I'm writing out March, thickening the vertical sections as I go to create a calligraphy look. And that's it from my title page. On this next page I'm going to be creating a calendar month at a view, so I can see the shape of my whole month in a single glance. For anyone wondering, I'm using an A4 Scribbles That Matter journal, and these boxes are 8 by 8 dots. On the opposite page I'm creating a box to write my top 3 goals of the month, and below this I'm creating a space for task lists. The box on the left will be for longer, more complex tasks like certain university assignments, and the right one for all those silly, niggling little tasks that only last a few minutes but keep piling up. At the bottom here I'm drawing out a video upload schedule to get weekly uploads back on track, including sections for allocating time to film and edit, as well as materials I'll need to gather. To finish off the page, I'm adding a quick illustration of some bluebells to brighten up the page. Once again, I'm then sweeping some coffee and watercolour across the page to tie it all together. Moving on, I'm going to be creating my tracking page. On this page, I'm drawing out my mood tracker. I found I've been struggling to keep up with my mood tracker lately, as I've been allocating certain colours to certain moods, and I often don't have the specific pens on me that I need when I come to fill it in. So instead I'm going to be creating a tracker I can fill in with a single black pen. You can see that I did lose some footage here, but I basically drew out this flower cluster and then filled it with watercolour as I did on my title page. Here I'm adding my pen overlay and I'm making sure to keep my wrist movements loose to keep a greater sense of movement and flow within my work. If anyone would like a video on some basic exercises you can do just to loosen up your drawing technique, let me know in the comments below and I'll get onto that. On the opposite page, on the right hand side, I'm drawing out the table for my daily step tracker, and on the left I'm creating my sleep tracker. The horizontal axis shows the hours slept and the vertical shows the date. I'm then adding in a social media growth tracker, links to all these platforms can be found in the description, and up the top here I'm then creating a general habit tracker. On the left I will list my habits and I will shade in the box for the corresponding date when I complete that behaviour. On this next page, I'm creating a simple expenses tracker. Moving from left to right, the column will display the date, the item bought or returned, how much money came in, or in the other column, how much money was spent, and the total balance. On the opposite page, I'm drawing a box for items I need to remember to buy. Now, down the bottom here, as it is my birthday month, I'm adding a section to remember which gifts I received from who, and a section to keep track of who I said thank you to and how I did that, whether that was a phone call or a thank you note. I'm then writing a quote which reads, "Be aware of small expenses. A small leak will sink a great ship." I've been finding I'm spending a lot of money on silly little things lately, like buying lunch out instead of eating at home, and I'm hoping this quote helps me keep track of that. On this next spread, I'm setting up my weekly layout. Now usually I do a week across a double page, but as the first 4 days of March are only Thursday to Sunday this month, I have one of those pages free. So I'm creating a painting of a badger nestled in with some flowers. I really do like this theme as I really like the contrast of the black and white of the badger with the vibrancy of the plants. Once again, I've worked in my Windsor and Newton watercolour palette and layered black fine liner over the top to create my illustration. On the opposite page, I'm setting up my weekly. The top box is my main goal of the day, and then below that I have a checklist box for my main to-dos that day. The left column will show the hours of the day, and then the centre column I can block my events and activities. The right hand column is for me to mark the way which I actually spent my time at the end of the day, so I can see what my distractions are and how productive I'm being. Up the top, to finish off my page, I'm adding in the quote, "We can't direct the wind, but we can adjust the sails." I hope you all have a wonderful March. If you like this video, please subscribe for more creative journal and sketchbook inspiration. Until I next see you, keep creative.